Hi everyone, my name is Liz from flutesoundscapes.com and today I'm going to be giving you a performance of Vesti La Giubba, which is from the Australian Music Examinations Board syllabus for Grade 2 flute, and it's the list B number 5. So I'll play the piece first and then I'm going to give you some practice tips on how you can learn this in the fastest way possible. The first tip I want to give about this piece is to go and listen to an opera singer performing this piece. So you'll find it on YouTube fairly easily if you type in the name of the piece. And this will help you conceptualize the emotion in this piece and its full expression. So given that opera singers have the option of words to express themselves, we want to try and create that illusion with the flute as well, even though we're obviously playing with one tone, but we're going to do it in our tonal colors. So what do I mean by that? When I say tone colors, I mean using our skills to create different sounds on the flute on the same note. For example, I might play a D. I think of tone colors in literal colors, so like a fortissimo, very strong, would be color red, and very quiet or soft and mysterious would be color blue, and yellow would be somewhere in the middle of that. And you can make up your own version of this color chart, or maybe you think of it slightly differently, but whatever works for you. But like a D, for example, in the tonal color of red, very strong, and a blue would be more. Now keep in mind that if you're at the stage with your playing where you're using vibrato, this is where vibrato can really come in handy, because when you're playing your piano or your blue color, you want to use the vibrato at a faster speed to keep the note alive rather than dead. So the difference between a note that has vibrato and doesn't sounds like this. So this has vibrato and this doesn't. So I'm going to play the first line without vibrato and then I'll add in vibrato so you can hear the difference in the direction of the phrase. So this is with vibrato. And this is without vibrato. So if you can hear the difference between that, one kind of sounds a little bit flat, like it lacks a vibrancy and a direction to it. And the other one has a bit more direction in the phrase. It's like saying a sentence that is leading to a full stop, and the other one just keeps going like this and we're not quite sure where the full stop is. All right, so that's the difference. So at this point you might be wondering, well, how do I do vibrato if you haven't yet learnt vibrato? And I'm going to create a whole nother video on that, so stay tuned for that one. But basically, very quickly now, vibrato is where we use our diaphragmatic support to make the note sort of sound like that. All right, so the way you would start learning vibratos, again, we'll do it on a D, and you're going to imagine you're blowing out candles. So if you just think about your birthday and you're blowing out your candle, you know that it's automatically going to come from the belly. So on one note, so no tongue, just an open throat and all right, so you want to get to the point that you're actually feeling some fatigue in the belly muscle area. And that's how you know you're kind of doing it right. And then as you build on this, you're going to make this go faster. And then faster again. And then faster again. Until the tension comes out of the diaphragm area, and you're starting to now do it automatically with much less effort. So that's how you can begin to introduce vibrato into your playing. But like I said, I'll do a whole nother video on that. So that's the first tip. The next thing is we want to be thinking in sentences in this piece, because it is operatic. I mean, we should be thinking in sentences in all music anyway, but this it's to enhance the dramatic feel of this piece. You want to be playing the ends of the phrases right to the bar line or right to the next note. So for example, in the second bar, we're playing, there's a legato phrase to the D. And so you want to not cut that D short. So now, ideally, you wouldn't breathe between those two Ds in the second bar. But if you're not quite there yet, that's fine. You can breathe, but you want to make the breath really, really short. So now I want to play the difference between cutting the D short and not cutting the D short. So I'll cut the D short this time. So that to me sounds like two sentences, but we want to make this sound like one sentence. So you want to make that the getting to the end of the phrase with all of your phrases and taking as short a breath as possible. You also want to make sure you have enough breath for phrases, and the number one mistake I see students making is that they're not preparing their breaths in time, and then suddenly they need to breathe in the middle of a bar where it's going to break up the phrase. So for example, in bar 24 to 25, there's this long A which you need to hold for 6 beats, and ideally you won't breathe between the A and the B flat. So you can achieve this in a few ways. One is obviously breath preparation, but two is also when you get to the beginning of the A is to conserve your breath so you can really make the most of the crescendo in bar 24. So you've got to grow that note, and you're going to land on the B flat. So if I play from bar 23. So you really want to make this point intense, and you can hear that I really grew the note in the A, and I didn't breathe before the B flat because we're landing that as the anchor point and the point of real intensity. And finally, with this piece, articulation is so important to, again, bring out the expression. So you'll see there's a variety of expressions. There's articulation marks, there's accents, and there's tenutos, and there's even fermata somewhere, which is, yeah, bar 6. So do be sure to bring out those different articulations because they are important, and also to retongue after the phrase has ended, so those legato lines. So sometimes, for example, in bar 11, you see this legato line over each of the notes, but then there's tenuto marks over each of those notes. So you want to make sure you're tonguing those notes, but you still want to have it in that joined expression. So rather than still, it's like you're adding weight to those notes with your tongue, but we still want to have the legato feel. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed those tips, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more practice tips like this on all the exam pieces. And if you're interested, I also write some original flute music, so you might want to go and check that out on this channel, or you can also go to my website, and I will leave all the links in the description below. And if you don't live near me, but you're still interested in getting some lessons from me, I do teach online as well. Or maybe you just want to get some tips, and you can submit me some videos of your playing, and I can give you some feedback. So again, I'll leave the links for all that below in this video. And thanks for listening today, and I'll catch you later.